What's up, YouTube? Let me get my levels right. Turn that off. It's a great song. I love it. My name is Bill. Welcome to KO Bets. Before we get started, if you wouldn't mind, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We go live every Friday night before UFC events. I've been doing an NFL show on Sunday, and it's kind of turning into more of a, we're going to turn it into like a Sunday's Best show. So it'll just be, picks for that weekend or maybe early in the week or something. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I think that'll be a great opportunity Sunday morning to have guests on the show too. Typically, people aren't doing a whole lot on Sundays. But like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support. This week we're back with UFC, which is fantastic, right? We didn't have UFC for like 4 weeks straight. It was just crazy. So before we get it started, I've got an NFT update. We're at 58 subscribers out of 100. My goal this year was to get to 125 subscribers by the end of 2023. I think we could do that. I think we made amazing progress last year, and I really can't thank you enough for the support you've shown. So we'll do another NFT giveaway at that point. Still trying to figure out the best way to distribute it, because 58 subscribers, the vast majority of you aren't tuned in when I go live. I get it, it's Friday night, you got something to do, but I gotta figure out the best way to distribute it. We're just so as many people as possible get the opportunity. Definitely want to support everyone who's supporting me, or give them a chance. So before we get started on this week's fight, I just gotta pull this up. We gotta give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Strickland. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Closes out the year in 2022. Brings us into 2023. So without further ado, if you want to see, so I obviously have my show where I gave my predictions for Cannonier against Strickland. I went over the Strickland and Cannonier fight, I think the 26th of December. It was a Thursday, and you can go back and look at the show. So I already reviewed it. But at that point, we didn't know Strickland was fighting in this main event, too. It was Gastelum, Kelvin Gastelum. So I just wanted to, shed some appreciation towards Sean Strickland. Absolute maniac. First fight of the night, we lost. We've got 11 fights tomorrow. Where's it taking place? I'm sure the Apex. Yeah, UFC Apex. Yeah, we lost Priscilla Cachoeira. She was taking on someone. I forget who. But we lost our opening fight. Now it is Charles Johnson and Jimmy Flick starting us off. Charles Johnson, he's on a one-fight win streak. His debut was against Muslim Makayev in London last year. He actually showed he's a really good athlete, I believe. He seems like his cardio held up pretty well. Makayev was just, better as far as wrestling goes. But Charles Johnson stayed out of trouble, even with Makayev on his back, didn't get submitted. Was bouncing up early in the fight, definitely I think got worn down as the fight went on, but really respectable performance coming in there. Might have been even on short notice, but going over to London and going 3 rounds with Makayev, and then he won his last fight. That was against Zalgas. Yeah, Zalgas Zumagulov. Split decision, but ends up taking it. He's going up against Jimmy Flick, who is on a 4-fight win streak. He's coming from the Dana White's Contender Series, and he's got 1 UFC victory. He's dangerous on the mat. He's got, you can see, quite a few win by submissions. If we look at his record, 16 wins, 14 of those via submission. I think does have this 3rd round submission on the Contender Series, couple of 3rd round submissions. So I think he's just dangerous on the mat. I like Charles Johnson in this fight. I just think what I saw against Muslim and then against Zalgas, I just like him in this matchup. I think he's got the takedown defense to avoid getting in trouble in the first round, and then from there, I think the fight could play out on the feet, and I think Charles Johnson is going to be much better there. So, if I'm going with Charles Johnson on the money line. Now, last year there was just like this weird stretch where I was just first fight of the night was awful. Just absolutely awful. Didn't matter who it was. Nick Maximov, like minus 360 favorite against, forget who that was against, but loses via first round submission. Just terrible luck. Charles Johnson's the heavy favorite, minus 345. Jimmy Flick underdog at plus 285. I think Charles could get it. I think inside the distance is probably what the odds makers like in this particular scenario. It just, in my opinion, it just makes sense. I think, fight props, yeah, odds makers agree that the fight does not go the distance. I think it just makes sense. Oh, the Warriors started already. Damn. I almost just placed a flash bet, but all I've got tonight is Draftkings had a special on Kawhi Leonard to have a combination of points, rebounds, and assists, and the total number needed to be 30 or more at plus 100 odds. So that's all I did tonight, but was thinking about the Warriors after a conversation with my friend. So anyways, odds makers agree. They do not like this fight to go the distance. Yeah, I mean, I'm not... I kind of think that's a likely scenario. I think Jimmy Flick, like I said, he's going to be dangerous in the first. If he's throwing up submissions, there might not be much of an opportunity for Charles to dish out damage. So as long as he survives, like maybe we're looking at Charles Johnson and under 2.5 over, maybe second round and on. And then for Jimmy Flick, if you like him as an underdog, maybe you're interested in that earlier finish, something in the first round when he's fresh, able to bring the grappling to Charles Johnson. But I like Charles Johnson in this. I like him to win late, potentially knock out. That's the thing. Charles is a great athlete, and I would hate to bet. Let's do this. Charles. I mean, maybe Charles knockout, but to pick a round. I was wondering if there was going to be an over-under pick there. And there is. Yeah, I mean, I'd say over a half a round, but I'd hate to do this and just, watch Flick get starched early in the fight. So I might use... It's risky. I might use Charles. I'm just a big fan of what I've seen from him, but I might use him as a parlay piece. I'm definitely going to put it out there as something I'm thinking about. I like what I've seen from him. That being said, I'm saying it's going to be a finish. Both of his fights were so far were decisions. I think this is a maybe easier matchup, though, in my opinion. David Arquette taking on Nick Aguirre is our next fight. Dan Arquette, he is 0-1 in the UFC. He was slated to fight someone else, and Nick Aguirre is 1-0 in the UFC, but he's coming in here on short notice. Arquette he's a big favorite. I think he's he's got bad takedown defense. We've seen him get taken down. I don't think he's, the world's worst grappler, but I don't know what that was. Do you guys ever get that where you're just sitting there and all of a sudden you just twitch or something a little bit? I don't know. I got my legs crossed and my knee just hit the bottom of the desk. Couldn't control it. Couldn't even control it. Dan Arquette taking on Nick Aguirre. Yeah, I mean, just on short notice, I think it's going to be tough for Nick Aguirre to win. If we're looking at Nick's record, all 7 of his wins have come inside the distance. Lots are early ones, too. So as long as Dan's able to... I kind of like him to try and push some grappling just to tire out Aguirre, but he's definitely got to be careful because Aguirre kind of seems live for finishes. But I'm going to go with the heavy favorite Arquette, who's just coming in here better prepped, more likely to win 2 out of 3 rounds, in my opinion. Rolling with him. I would guess they don't like it to go the distance again. Yeah. Odds makers don't. They think it's going to end inside the distance. I don't know. Honestly, at minus 500, probably a no bet for me. I could see Aguirre getting tired. He hasn't lost yet, but let's see. Yeah, Arquette's got 4 submission wins. Maybe, and he did lose to Damon Jackson. This is a big step down from Damon Jackson, who we went to a decision with, but he got wrestled bad by Damon in that matchup. Yeah, so maybe it's the submission, just because he's got more submissions. Maybe that's the way to go. Argueta submission. I don't know. Other guy has Nick has decent jiu-jitsu, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna avoid this one. Not touching some 0-1 guy with minus 500 odds. Not touching that. Was just checking the reaches too. Nick's got a little bit longer reach. Yeah, just not touching it. I think it makes sense, right, that Dan Argueta wins, but not gonna touch it. Alan Nascimento taking on Carlos Hernandez. Alan Nascimento, he's coming on in on a 1-fight win streak. Just beat Hadley via decision. Improving striking. Obviously, good on the mat, good jiu-jitsu. I do think, I don't know if he's going to be able to secure takedowns. Like, there's sometimes a weird phenomena with, like, the guys who are super good at jiu-jitsu where they just tend to pull guard more and maybe put themselves in a less favorable situation if you're watching it, but in judging the fight, I think Alan Nascimento makes a lot of sense in this if he's able to get the fight to the ground. I think this is a tough opponent for Carlos Hernandez, who does have some pretty good wrestling, but I think it's kind of like if he wants to use his wrestling, he's kind of baiting himself into the what Alan's so good at and what he'll probably finish him with. I would guess is he could get that submission win against Carlos Hernandez. Yeah, so I mean, as long as it's not playing out on the feet, I like Alan Nascimento a lot in this fight. I think his odds are kind of crazy at minus 320 again. Carlos Hernandez plus 265. Let's see, for a guy who's, Ulanbekov split decision. That's, he was really controlled a lot in that fight and kept throwing up submissions, but yeah, if he's not able to get the submission, like, is Carlos Hernandez just a little more active, and is Allen on his back the whole time, not really able to submit Carlos Hernandez? I don't know. I'm going with Alan Nascimento, but probably going to avoid betting on this one, I think. The odds makers like this to go the distance. Allen's 4-6 in decisions. Hernandez is 4-1. Right, I know the level of competition isn't necessarily there, right, for Carlos Hernandez, but a couple of split decision wins for himself, like, oof. I don't know, it just seems like kind of a sketchy one to bet on, in my opinion. If I had to predict a method of victory, I don't really understand why, like, we wouldn't kind of like the, Hernandez is maybe grappling background, but, I don't know. I would say maybe I like the Nascimento submission a little bit, but yeah, it just seems like a fight I'd want to avoid altogether. Maybe What would that even look like? Gets you to minus 145. Yeah, I don't even know if I could put that in the round robin. Definitely want to be a little bit smarter, more calculated with some of the bets. I do love doing round robins, don't get me wrong. I'll still do those. In fact, after this, we'll put together some of those ideas. Mateus Rebecki. No, there's nothing on your screen. It's just like this weird little line under his the E, taking on Nick Fior. Rebecki, he is coming off Dana White Contender Series. Grappled a lot. Got the first round submission on Dana White Contender Series. Fior's coming in here making his UFC debut. Not Aguirre. Here. Yeah, Fior is coming from the combat zone. All 6 wins inside the distance. Grappler as well. And I just think Mateus is going to be the better fighter in this situation. So the better grappler in this situation too. So I like him. I like how Rebecki throws his punches, throws them with bad intentions. So I think this is setting up for a fight that highlights Rebecki, his skill set. He'll get his first UFC win in his debut. Rebecki is a huge favorite, second biggest favorite here. We see Umar, like, it sucks. It is what it is, right? I might even find myself going the other way in some of these, like just sprinkling it a little bit, just because it's so, I don't know, it's just so ridiculous, the odds, and it's fine. It's fine. I think Rebecki's going to go out there, probably finish this fight. Odds makers don't like this one to go the distance as well. Winning method, they like the KO, submission. Let's see, just Rebecki inside the distance, double. Rebecki win by any knockout, submission, or disqualification. Yes, at minus 280. Might put that in a round robin. Might put that in a round robin for sure. None of those. Can we build a, sometimes they don't have enough options for the same game parlays. Yeah. So, yeah, you're forced to pick the method. I mean, you could pick, I guess, under 14.5 minutes, minus 250, you get it to, as opposed to, what did we say? Where's that? There we go. As opposed to minus 280. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're getting a little bit better odds there. But yeah, maybe that's a round robin piece. Let's see. The next fight we've got is Claudio Ribeiro taking on Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Abdul Razak is on a 1-fight losing streak. Claudio Ribeiro is coming from Dana White's Contender Series, where he scored the first round knockout. looking at both of these guys, Abdul, all 11 of his wins are knockouts. All 11 of them are first round. Ribeiro, he's got a bunch in the first round. I think all 10 of his wins are via KO. And he's got a lot of early ones as well. I mean, this seems like a fight where just someone's going to get knocked out, and it could probably happen early. Like, it could probably happen in that first round. I would say Abdul is more, like, maybe better defense, more conservative. Claudio's probably a little bit wilder, and, for that reason, I like Abdul a little bit more. Claudio's just got his chin hanging out there and whiffs on a haymaker, but it's probably whoever gets punched hard first is gonna just be out in this situation. So kind of went back and forth on it. I think I like Abdul in this situation. I don't know though. We've got Claudio, who's making his debut. Maybe he's amazing, super good. He did get that round 1 KO on the Contender Series, but probably sticking away from a money line prediction, like bet on this one. I'm going with Abdul, but might, depending on the odds, explore an inside the distance. So it's a pick'em. Minus 900 that it does not go the distance. Let's see. Is it round props? Fight props. No, it's fight parlays. Yeah. The round 1 KO is minus 135. I'll probably put a little bit on that. Maybe add that to the round robin scenario. Just because that'll bring my, for 2 pick parlays, that'll bring my Johnson and Rebecca finish into plus territory, right? Where was that? Winning method. Well, we'll figure it out at the end. Alright, next fight we've got is Javid Basharat taking on Mateus Mendonca. This is going to be a great fight. I think this closes out the prelims. This is going to be a great fight. Both of these guys. Oh, this is an early card. It's kind of cool. So it starts at 3 p.m. Main event at 6 p.m. Damn. I'm working a high school basketball game. Trying to fundraise some money for the students, and I gotta work that from probably for the entirety of the main event. So that's okay. I'll watch it when I get back. Javid Basharat, Mateus Mendonca. Why did I say it like Mendonca? I don't know how you say it. Yeah, both terrific fighters. I'm a big fan of Basharat and his brother. I think they just they're like killers. They just got a crazy approach to fighting. Crazy cardio, super well-rounded. Great strikers, great grapplers. Just really incredible fighters. Mateus, he's good in his own right. Very good in his own right. I think this is going to shape up to be a really good fight. I do like Javid Basharat. I think this is Mateus is coming off a Contender Series. we saw Javid beat Tony Gravely, and now he's fighting a guy who's like seems to be really good, but I don't know. It's just kind of a weird fight. So I like Javid a lot. I think this is a big step in competition and a tough fight for Mateus, who's really young, but Basharat minus 325. Kind of crazy, but I respect it. Odds makers don't like it to go the distance. I would he does have a lot of finishes. Both of his UFC fights were Trevin Jones, Tony Gravely. They were both decisions. Mateus is undefeated. Who knows what, if he's prone to getting knocked out or whatever. I mean, I could see Javid finishing this, I guess. I could see it being a decision, too. Tough prediction to make. But I have to make one, so I'm going to say it's a Javid decision, which is what the odds makers like at plus 150. But I mean, both fighters are really good, and they could hurt each other. So, like Javid, that's a round robin one. That's probably not just like a parlay piece for me. He's super good though, and I'm a fan, but I don't know. It's just tough. Some of these odds. Umar Nurmagomedov. Sorry, I gotta skip into it. Raoni Barcelos are fighting each other. Umar 3-0 in the UFC. Terrific talent. This might be his debut into the top. What is Barcelos? Is he? Yeah, he's not ranked. Umar's number 11, but yeah, definitely a tough opponent in Barcelos, but I think Umar is gonna pass the test. Barcelos, good jiu-jitsu, good stand-up, powerful. Umar, he brings just persistent grappling, has really good kicks, dynamic kicks. Yeah, I like Umar in this spot. I just, what are you supposed to do with minus 900 odds? What are you supposed to do with this? You can't. I don't know. It's just absolutely crazy. If I had to guess, I'm guessing odds makers don't like it to go the distance. Oh, no, they do. Why can't... I don't know, why can't Umar potentially submit him? Get the submission win? Really, the decision is the favorite. I mean, I guess I kind of like the submission. I would maybe sprinkle some money on that. I think Umar's, he should implement grappling, and he should try and submit this guy. Prior to his last fight against Menes, he had 3 submission victories in a row. I kind of like the submission. Plus 300 there. I'm gonna write that down. Let's see. Next fight we've got is Ketlin Vieira taking on Raquel Pennington. Ketlin Vieira, she's coming off of a 2-fight win streak. Got the split decision versus Holm, which I had Holm in that fight. I thought Holm won, but I guess she had a couple. I mean, we could just look at the. I don't need to complain about it. We could just pull it up. So yeah, Holm a lot more strikes. Ketlin had 1 out of her 7 takedowns. Had 1 submission attempt. I do think that you can see the significant strikes were close, and Ketlin pushed Holm against the octagon a lot that fight. So I mean, she's well-rounded, but I don't love her activity, Ketlin Vieira. She's facing Raquel Pennington, who's might have a stand-up advantage in this fight. But I mean, Pennington hasn't really lost to Nunez, Randomly, Holly Holm. Kind of went through some easier competition, in my opinion. Aspen Ladd, Chiason. I guess Chiason. So, I mean, I don't know. Kind of a tough fight. I guess I like Ketlin Vieira. That's who my pick is gonna be. I just think when Raquel Pennington's gotten to this point where she has a loss against Holly Holm. Vieira beat Holly Holm. Was it bad judging? Sure, whatever. But that says something. So I'm gonna go with Vieira. If we're looking at the odds, Vieira's at -125. I would expect this to go the distance, and so do the odds makers at -330. Method of victory, I'm gonna say Ketlin Vieira decision. As it could be a weird fight, it might be fun to do a split or a majority decision bet. So I saw right here, you can see 2 win by split or majority decision. Plus 350 for that. I don't know. Just might be kind of fun. It is probably going to be a kind of a close fight if Vieira's not doing anything with her takedowns. But we'll go with Ketlin Vieira. Next fight we've got is Punahele Soriano taking on Roman Kopylov. Kind of back and forth on this one. Don't really know who I want to pick. Both are great strikers and carry some good power. Both like to fight standing up. We'll give a grappling advantage to Punahele. As far as records, Punahele is coming off of a 1-fight win streak. Roman, 1-fight win streak as well. He's 1-2 in the UFC. Yeah, I'm kind of back and forth on this one. I think I could see a scenario where both fighters can win. I think Roman Kopylov keeps this standing. Neither one has a great gas tank, but I think Roman's is going to be better. So if he comes in with good conditioning, maybe you could really, test Punahele. Punahele, I think, if you're not able to get him out of there early, look to do some grappling. Look to get it to the mat. I don't know. If you can't get it there, though, might be in trouble. So I was going back and forth. I've circled both people, but I'm going to go with Punahele. He is the favorite at minus 150. Odds makers, I'm going to guess they don't like this to go the distance. They do not, minus 200. And they like the knockout for Punahele. They like the knockout for Kopylov. For either fighter to win via knockout, the odds are at minus 150. Probably not going to bet on this one. I could just see it playing out either way. I could see Punahele hurting Kopylov. I could see Kopylov making it through the first round and Punahele being tired as hell. So just want to avoid this one. The next fight we've got is Dan Ige taking on Damon Jackson. Damon Jackson trying to get into the top 15 here. 4-1 in the UFC on a 4-fight win streak. Only loss was Ilya Topuria, which is understandable. Dan Ige, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's 1-4 in his last 5. In fairness to him, fighting against some really, really tough competition. Let's just go ahead and pull that up. Masvar, Josh Emmett, Chan Sung Jung, Calvin Kattar. Fighting some pretty good fighters. So, I like Ige's boxing a lot in this fight. Damon Jackson definitely, I would say, possesses a grappling advantage here. But I think, and Damon Jackson, he had that first round knockout against Pat Sabatini. That was just, I picked against him. I picked Pat Sabatini in that fight, and that was nuts. But I think Ige is a much better striker here. It does tend to fight a close style, and I noticed this trend with Ige fights, where it's like, he's got his split decision wins, and he's only, 6-6 in decisions, but he does always make it to that decision, right? And then Damon Jackson, on the other hand, a little bit better, 3-0 in decisions. So, kind of something I'm a little bit concerned about, but I'm going to go with Dan Ige in this fight. I think it's a step down in competition for him, and it's a big step up for Damon Jackson. So, I'm going to go with Dan Ige, minus 125. I would guess the odds makers do like this to go. They do at minus 150. 3-round fight. Yeah, I'd say I like the Ige decision. I like the Ige decision at plus 225 there. Now we're on to the main card, and so it was supposed to be Calvin Gastelum taking on Nasruddin Imavov. I really liked Nasruddin in that matchup. This is now at 205. Strickland weighed in 10 pounds heavier. Has 5-round experience. I mean, he's been in quite a few main events, it seems like. Yeah, Jacker Manson, Cannonier. Pereira was not a main event. Uriah Hall was. So he's kind of been, put into that spotlight. And he's been here before. And I think Nasruddin's terrific. I think he's super dynamic as a striker. I think he's dangerous. But let's see. Did anyone check out my poll here? Let's see if I can. Oh, we're gonna end the poll. So yeah, I've been back and forth on this. this fight in particular. I think that Nasruddin, like, I've got that vision of what Alex Pereira did to Sean Strickland. I'm kind of curious how, Nasruddin does possess really good power and is a good striker. Just kind of curious how this one's gonna play out. I think I gotta go with Sean Strickland, and just the experience and the fact it's a 5-round fight. I know it's short notice for him, but I think he's really pissed off. I think he's, I like his volume. I like his cardio. And when we saw Nasruddin lose to Phil Hawes, it was a majority decision, but still has the loss. So I'm gonna go with the underdog in the main event in Sean Strickland at +110. We picked against him against Cannonier. We're fortunate to get that victory because it was really close. But now I think Sean bounces back in this fight, beats Nasruddin. I don't think it reflects poorly on Nasruddin either. He was supposed to fight Gastelum, who's definitely brings durability, similar to what we were typically used to with Sean Strickland. He does bring a durability, is a good boxer, so I think Sean Strickland's maybe able to, I think he's able to win this one and bounce back. Just be a savvy vet. For sure a way tougher opponent for Nasruddin than Kelvin Gastelum. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Sean Strickland in this scenario. I would say I like the fight to go the distance. I think if Nasruddin wins, it's probably that KO. But I'm gonna go with Sean Strickland decision, right? He's a decision machine. 11-3, Nasruddin 3-2 in decisions. So this is a 5-round fight as well. So I know Nasruddin's been training for it. I just trust Sean's cardio to be there for it. I think he's earned that. Let's see. So just to highlight the bets I liked personally. Sean Strickland. I like Ige. I like that line. I kind of like the Mateus finish. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the finish there as opposed to just picking submission. I like this one to be, I think it was fight parlays, and we're looking for this round 1 KO. Kind of like that. Man, I kind of like Ketlin Vera. I'm not sure. I like this Umar submission at +300. And I mean, I guess I'll put Ketlin Vera in there. And I also kind of like that split decision for like +330 or whatever. But yeah, these were the fights I liked a lot. If I had to do something, maybe I'm doing a round robin, but I don't know. I love the round robins because you're like highlighting your favorite picks and taking them like that. Yeah, maybe I do By the way, if you're not already in the lower left here, you can see my Twitter handle. Go ahead and give me a follow. I will post pics tomorrow morning of what I end up betting, and then we'll track the units all season long or all year long on Twitter. Picked a lot of favorites this week. I think the only underdog I really liked was Sean Strickland. I think Strickland, Kopylov, yeah, I mean, maybe Mateus. I don't know. Oh, and I like Javid Basharat. So that's another one. This is where I'd probably build my round robins and bets and parlays from, somewhere in here. That's where I'm gonna find my round robins and parlays, and I will post them tomorrow. I'll also post a Draftkings lineup that you can follow for UFC if you like that. Tomorrow, I guess there's NFL games tomorrow, so we gotta just knock this out. So, because I've missed the Saturday games the past couple of weekends. So we got Seattle at San Francisco taking on the 49ers. San Francisco just seems really fucking good. So I'm going to take San Francisco by 9.5. As far as the total over-under, I mean, it seems like such a low over-under, so I'm going to go over. I think San Francisco could put up a lot of points in this game, like 30 plus, and then, Seattle, I think they could potentially score. And then obviously I like the 49ers on the money line. The night game is the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. Ooh, this is an interesting one. This is a very interesting game. Jacksonville, let's see. They've been hot lately, haven't they? Pretty sure I've been picking against them a lot, too. So just beat the Titans, beat the Texans, beat the Jets, beat the Cowboys. That was a very impressive win. Beat the Titans again. Lost bad to the Lions. Beat the Ravens. Just wow. Beat the Raiders, Chiefs. It kind of seemed like they struggled at the beginning of the year, but they've really turned things around here. And then if we're looking at the Chargers, I think they were pretty good to end the year. Lost the Broncos, but beat the Rams, Colts, Tennessee, Dolphins. Beating a lot of bad teams is what it looks like, to be perfectly honest. The Chargers, it seems like they're just beating like the worst teams on their schedule. So I kind of like the Jags in this. I kind of like the home underdog, 2.5 points. I think Jacksonville could win this. Over-unders at 47.5. Let's go over. Couple of dynamic offenses led by young QBs. Yeah, let's go over. So those will be my NFL picks for tomorrow. Like I said, give me a follow on Twitter here, and you can see the picks that I make. Just gonna check ESPN and see. Yeah, geez, the Warriors were like 5.5 point favorites, maybe. Just not very. you know, not a crazy big spread for how much better they are than the Spurs. Okay, so Denver and Clippers haven't started. That's a 9 o'clock game. Okay. I just have that Kawhi Leonard related bet pulled up. But we gotta go over trending topics. What the fuck is wrong with Lonzo?
Oh, a little. Okay. Oh, a little.
He that can endure the bad will not live to see the good. He played his last game 1 year ago tomorrow, January 14th. So he's posting videos of himself working out, which is great, right? He wasn't jumping or running. What the fuck? That's my point guard. That's my point guard. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Funny as hell. Alright, let's go to trending. We won't do for you. We'll do United States trending. Oh! Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna... I don't think I should tackle the topic of... Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I don't feel like it. I had plans to do it. I don't feel like talking about Dana White and the New Year's Eve incident. I don't really feel like talking about it. So music streaming service is trending. Spotify is trending. Why? Spotify's down. Drag Race. They gotta pay for promotion. Love After Lockup. This lady, he told this lady to get some money out the ATM so he could go to the casino. She had to pick up the 506 bill for the food he ordered.
Black sister, what are we doing? What are we doing, my black sister?
I don't really know what's going on with that. OP Live. What's OP Live? Is it a golf simulator? On Patrol Live? Oh, you can like watch people? Like cops? You can like watch cops? Are they like streaming? Gunther. Gunther was that singer, right? Oh, and it says and still. Just a WWE thing. Spurs. What's going on with the Spurs? Friday the 13th? Oh. Scary stuff. What's a lira? 3D.
Have any specific requests from me? I see that you have a bat over there.
Oh, I do indeed have a little bat over here, which is my little friend. We all know that I never show.
I'm sure your fans would enjoy a bonk.
Are these all WWE people? Who's Carson Cooper breakout game? 6 points, 4 rebounds. MSU. Congrats. Oh, Dante DiVincenzo. I don't know. I don't really see anything compelling or interesting in here. Maybe let's do news. Stock market was up again today. Yeah, it could be a bull run for sure. Okay. It's all money related, the news.
Frankie moves everything at the same time. Body's moving, feet's moving. Oh, my goodness! Flying I always say hands and feet move at the same time. Frankie moves everything at the same time. Body's moving, feet's moving. Oh, my goodness! Flying Perfect! Out! Corey's
Nassourdine Imavov takes on Sean Strickland.
We meet again. Oh, you got your fucking chain on, dude. It's silver. Me and this guy have a lot of history.
5 rounds in a light heavyweight bout between Nassourdine Imavov and Sean Strickland. We'll see you tomorrow on ESPN+.
Hey, last time I sparred Bill Haas, he didn't make it to 1 round.
How long that was out for, but I think we're gonna conclude the show here, and I appreciate everyone tuning in. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support. I will be back on Sunday morning. We'll talk more NFL games, probably some NBA games, see what else is on the itinerary, on the schedule. Yeah. So I will talk to you all later. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. And peace.